Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. I am AmalgamAsh, and as promised, I am attempting to get the other endings in Cemetery Mary. I have achieved 2 out of the possible 6, both the good and bad endings to the Croven route. What I'm going to do is attempt now to get the good and bad endings of the Twyla route, and when I'm done with that, I will go with what is called the Reginald route. And when I go the Reginald route, I'm going to be following a walkthrough in order to get what is considered to be the true ending. The true ending can be achieved on any of the playthroughs. It must it can be acquired after doing a few things, making a few very particular choices throughout the course of any of the routes, choices that I did not make during the Croven route. But the true ending is the same, regardless of which route you get it on. I'm just choosing to get it on the Reginald route because I'm going to save the Reginald route for last. I just have an intuitive feeling about doing it that way, and that is also when I'll get the true ending, so I can experience Cemetery Mary to its fullest. So, we've been trying to do everything to keep Croven happy. I think the cafe is the way to go. That's where we should run into Twyla. And being that I am starting a whole new adventure, we're going to save on page 2. I've got a save file here, but I'm going to overwrite that. Now, these endings can be freely viewed in other places on YouTube. You could easily go and just look at the endings in their entirety. I'm going to be showing you all the content on the way to the ending that we would not have seen during Croven's route, so that you can get a picture of the other perspectives, the other things that are going on that we missed in the first route. All right. And I believe the cafe is where to go. Planet Dollars is a popular coffee chain, but we've never had one in this town until now. So we'll find Twyla sitting at a table. There she is. A girl around my age with the most spectacular eyebrows was diligently working on her laptop with an empty seat across from her. I figured she must be writing an essay for college or something. Coffee shops are popular with people in college, or so I hear. Seeing as this was the only seat left, I asked her, "Excuse me, may I sit here?" She didn't verbally answer me. Rather, she glanced over at me, rolled her eyes, and nodded to the empty chair. I tried to look apologetic as I sat. "Thank you." We're going to stay quiet. And we're going to stay quiet. And we're going to stay quiet. You have the most spectacular eyebrows. Maybe we won't stay quiet. You see, there are 18 opportunities to say or do something that is favorable to Twyla, just as there were a number of opportunities to do or say something that was favorable for Croven during his route. And what I did was actually pretty lucky. I saved during a scene early enough in the game that I could branch from it, and this was by accident, and make choices that took me off the Croven good ending. So I'm going to have to do a number of these right and a number of these wrong on purpose in order to get to a point where I can do something that is right or wrong and achieve the bad ending as well as the good, kind of in the same playthrough. That might not be in this episode, and it definitely won't be if I keep blabbing on, so I'm actually going to do this one wrong. You have them. I feel like she won't respond well if I say that. Let's stay quiet. Hey, thanks for being quiet while I work. Oh, she's appreciative. I appreciate it. I just said, oh, of course. No problem. What are you working on, if I may ask? So you're interested in what I'm doing here? Well, yeah, I guess. You seem to be very focused after all. As focused as I can be. What's your name? Me? I'm Mary. Twyla. Nice to meet you. Anyways, I'm working on a report. A report like for school? No. Have you noticed something odd going on in town recently? Something odd? I'm not surprised if you haven't heard about it. It's like the police are trying to dull suspicions, or just arrest potential suspects so everyone can feel safe. Oh, are you talking about the killing rumors? The Blackwood Butcher, right? Don't say it so loud, but yes. How did you know? Oh, well, I've been hearing the rumors for a while now, and actually, my aunt and uncle died pretty recently. They were, killed. Really? Uh-huh. That's actually pretty... How did they die? Oh, I don't know. No one really told me, but the circumstances were strange. Like, they didn't die naturally. There was definitely someone else involved. At least, that's what I've been told. Uh-huh. Interesting. You know, maybe you can help me with this report. And, some other stuff. Oh, I can? Yeah. If you're okay with that, of course. Oh, sure, yeah, I guess. I mean, having a killer around is bad, so if I can help, like, raise awareness or something. I mean, like, yes. I'd like to help you. Thanks. This'll really put me ahead. I have to go, actually. I'm running late for something. Here, give me your phone number. I'm not entirely sure I'll need your help, but I'd rather have a way to contact you just in case. Oh yeah, of course. Twyla and I exchanged phone numbers. After, she packed up her laptop and was picked up by a car outside. Come to think of it, I didn't actually see her drink any coffee or order any food. I guess maybe she finished before I got there. I don't know why she would choose such a noisy place to work, though. After spending my day looking in some nearby stores, I went home pretty tired. I ate leftovers for dinner and yawned more than once as I got changed into pajamas. I plopped myself onto my bed and pulled out my phone, ready to continue the nightly conversation. I am going to reread at least just the interactions with Twyla this time around, just to get us kind of a reminder of what things were like when we encountered her during Croven's playthrough, but we're going to be seeing a lot of new scenes with her as well. Mary, it's Twyla. If you're still interested in helping me, I'll be at the library around noon today. It should be quieter there. And there's some books I want to pick up for research purposes. Meet me there if you can, but if not, I'll just call you up another time. I was messaged by each of them. However, I think I'll only have time to meet up with one of them today. Where should I go? The library. It was a tough choice, but I had to choose one of them. I told the others I had plans and that I'd have to meet with them some other time. Then, when noon rolled around, I headed to my destination. When I got to the library to meet with Twyla, it was already a little past noon. I had texted her on the way there, but I was still worried she might already be gone by the time I got there. I don't know why. She said she'd be there for research after all, and surely that takes a while. At least, I'm pretty sure it would. When I got to the library, I was able to find Twyla, who was coincidentally in my favorite spot of the library. Twyla? Oh, you made it. Sorry, I just got really invested in this book while waiting for you. Oh, what book is it? Celsius. 232.77. I guess that's supposed to be Fahrenheit 480. Sorry. Let me just finish this last paragraph and then we can start. I waited patiently for Twyla to finish, and when she did, I watched her place the book onto the wrong spot on the bookshelf and turn to face me. So, are you ready? I mean, yeah, I guess. What exactly are we doing here, though? Your reports are on the... Remembering what she told me, I whispered the next parts. It's about the butcher, right? Yes, that's why we're here. This library's got some good books on the history of Blackwood. You don't understand why that's important, do you? Should I? Anyways, we're here to look up stuff about serial killers in Blackwood itself. Other killers? Yeah. Before I do much else, I want to make sure this isn't some sort of copycat killer. A copycat killer? What's that? Do I have to explain everything to you? Oh no. Sorry. A copycat crime is a crime that mimics another. A copycat killer is a killer who bases their murders off previous murders. It could be that they were inspired by a killer to commit the same crimes in a similar fashion. And they could even be doing it as an homage to those who inspired them. Okay, I think I get it. So we're going to research similar crimes and potential killings that have happened in the Blackwood area in the past. Our library's got plenty of books on the subjects, and seemingly more useful stuff than the garbage I find online. Based on the statistics I've collected of the recent mysterious deaths, I'm going to research these other killers and see if their method of murder or victims are similar to what's been happening here. Oh, that makes sense. I'm hoping that if it is a copycat, it'll be easier to see out and catch the real killer. I'm going to go look for books about Blackwood itself. You should go look in the true crime section and pick out any books that have to do with serial killings. Report whatever you find back to me. Got it? Good. Twyla, wait. Twyla walked off into the library, leaving me to look for the books. Except, she didn't tell me about any of the statistics she found, so I had no idea what it was I was supposed to be looking for. I tried just getting any books that mentioned killers in them. I wasn't sure if it mattered how old they were, or if the killer itself was even caught. Eventually, Twyla had sat down with a few books and began flipping through them. I kinda just kept bringing her new books and putting away books she asked me to. We ended up spending a long time there. I started getting tired, and she didn't want to admit it. But I could see Twyla was starting to get tired too. After a while, we decided to just call it a day. So did you find anything useful? For the most part, not really, but there are a few books I'm going to check out and bring home with me for further research. Oh, that's good, I think. It's better than nothing. Hey, thanks for helping me. It probably would have taken me longer to find stuff without your help. Oh yeah, of course, no problem. Can I ask you something? It's nothing really that important, but why'd you choose this spot in the library? I'm sure that sounds so weird, but I'd love to know. Do you want to know that of all things? Well, I mean, I've been coming to this library for a really long time, and I've never seen anyone in this corner except for me. I just thought it'd be more private and quiet. Is this really an uncommon place to sit? Well, I mean, other than you, I've only seen one other person sit here. I saw him here the other day, actually. Who's that? Oh, he's just an acquaintance of mine I recently met again. His name is Reginald, and I met him at the... Wait. Hold up. Does Twyla know Reginald? It wouldn't... I'm feeling pretty intrigued by this, but it wouldn't or shouldn't surprise me, given that the three characters, I think, do have some kind of past. Reginald Tetra? Oh, I mean, I don't know his last name, but long caramel hair, rectangle glasses, kinda has an accent if you listen carefully. Oh yeah, that's him. Do you know him? Mary, you can't talk to Reginald. Huh? Why not? He's a suspect. He is. Everyone's a suspect, of course, but I really don't trust that guy. Why? I used to spend a lot of time here, you know. I even worked here for a time. And Reginald was always up to something, trying to hide the books he was reading. I never saw him check anything out. You watched him that closely. I watched him because he was weird. He always hid the covers of the books he read, rearranged the shelves when he was done so you couldn't see what he was reading. And when I would confront him about it, he'd just smile and act as if he wasn't reading at all. I mean, just because someone seems weird doesn't mean that you should, but I saw what he was reading despite his attempts to hide it. And it's not good. I can't trust a suspicious guy like that, and neither should you. Wow. I'll try to distance myself from him. He was pretty nice when I met him, but if you really think he's that bad, I'll try to limit the time spent around him, I guess. Good, you should. But don't let your guard down around everyone else either. Anyone could be a killer, not just him. But keeping your space is a good idea. Thanks for warning me, I guess. After that, Twyla and I said our goodbyes. I don't know what she did after. I thought about what she said to me all day. Reginald's behavior seemed strange from the way she described it, but he has to have his reasons, right? And it's a bit extreme to accuse him of something so cruel. I took the bus home like usual and did all the normal nighttime things, eating, washing up, whatever. Around then, it was back to my least favorite part of the day. Okay, so we just got to the part where Mary went to the cafe that her parents owned and actually lived upstairs in. And when we get back down, there's somebody in the cafe who runs out as soon as they realize she's watching. Last time I called Twyla. This time, I want to call Reginald. Yeah, we're not doing Twyla any favors by doing this, but I quickly called Reginald. He was close by, so he could get here quickest, and maybe on his way over, he might see that intruder. Come on, please pick up. Hello, Mary. Reginald, you're in the cemetery right now, right? Yes, why? Can you come over here? Over where? Next door, the diner. I'm here and I really need your help. Help? What's wrong? What happened? I'll explain it once you're here. Can you please just come over? Certainly, I'll be there momentarily. Thank you. It was only a few minutes before Reginald got here, but it felt like hours to me. Once he arrived, he commented on how shaken I looked and asked what happened. I told him everything. About how my parents were missing and how I wasn't supposed to be here. I asked if he had seen any hooded person on his way over, looking like they were in a rush. But he said he didn't see anything. He wasn't really sure what he could do to help, but he offered to look around with me, and we could see if they'd left anything behind. I thought that sounded like a good idea at the time. It made the most sense in my head. We started in the dining area and slowly worked our way upstairs. I guess I must have looked really scared, because the look Reginald gave me when he faced me again looked so worried that it worried me even more. He reassured me that I didn't have to worry, offered to hold my hand, to help me calm down. I accepted. We looked around, but couldn't find anything suspicious left behind. However, when we investigated my room, I noticed one of my plushes disappeared. It was one of my favorites, and I always kept it right on the shelf next to my bed, so it couldn't have gotten lost so easily. Did they take it? That thought put my stomach in knots. To think that they must have been in here while I was dozing off in the other room. Oh, God. I don't... Ugh. Eventually, we gave up on looking. There was nothing else of note, and it's not like we could really do anything else right now. We headed back downstairs. At the very least, having Reginald here was able to calm me down some. Mary, I'm very sorry I wasn't able to help you as much as you would have liked. What? No, don't say that. You helped me a lot. I'm very glad you came. Really, I feel a lot better. Really, you're sure? Yes, thank you. Well, I'm glad I was able to help in at least one regard. You know, I was wondering why this place had closed down so suddenly. I had no idea it was because its owners went missing. A shame, too. I know I had only been here when we first met, but I would have loved to come again. I'm sorry, that was a wrong choice of words. I didn't mean... No, I'm fine. It's fine. It'll open again, once they come back. Well, for your safety then, can you please not come in here until they get back? Huh? I don't know who was in here earlier, but there is a possibility they might come back. They could be dangerous, right? And what if you got hurt? You have to look out for yourself, Mary. I'm sure you miss your parents dearly, but they wouldn't want you putting yourself in danger now, would they? Yeah, I suppose you're right. I never even thought of it that way. You're right. I'll lock this place up again. Then, at least if that person does come back, at least they can't get in. That sounds like a good idea. Here, let's go. Why don't you walk around the cemetery with me? I'm sure it'll at least feel better than staying here. Yeah. You're right. I think I'd like that. Thank you. I let Reginald take me to the cemetery, away from the diner. He told me to show him all my favorite spots. Occasionally, he'd ask about a decorated grave, ask if I knew who the person there was. I wish I was able to have more answers for him. The rest of my day was pretty hazy. I couldn't stop thinking about what had happened. I didn't really feel any sort of relief until I got into bed that night. But, you know, that's never a relieving part of my day anyways. Reginald? What are you doing here? Oh, I just happened to be walking by when I noticed you in there. Is everything all right? Oh yes, everything's fine. We didn't run into Reginald last time. Last time we left the cemetery scene after the funeral for Minspella. She wasn't like a family member or anything like that. Oh, that's a relief. It's always a sad thing, is it not? Yes, it is. It's okay. I know you don't see it that way. Huh? Well, since you're here, would you mind helping me with something? Reginald, he has a particularity, a skill. Earlier, I didn't show it in the video, but I ran into Reginald at the library, and when he asks Mary what kind of book she likes, you can say a shoujo manga, something like Sailor Moon, Magic Knight, Ray Earth. I'm listing some very old ones. There are probably dozens, hundreds, thousands of newer shoujo manga, and I'm not going to know any of them, but you can say that, or you can say a mystery novel. And when I said mystery novel, he said that she was lying. He said it politely. He just said, "You can tell me. I know you're not here for a mystery novel. Now, would you mind helping me with something?" Oh, I was just about to head down to the store to pick up a few things. Just some screws, nails, a hammer or two. Just some stuff I'm running low on and need to replace. You want my help for this? I'm not very educated in tools and all. Oh, no, that's all right. You don't need to be. I just appreciate the company is all. But if you'd rather not... Oh, no, I mean, yeah, I can come. It's not like I have anything better to do, haha. Lovely. Come with me. I hope you don't mind that we'll have to walk. I would have brought my car, but it was too nice of a day to pass up the chance to walk. In the rain? Rightly so. A little water never hurt anyone. Well, I guess you've got a point. Reginald's logic didn't really make sense to me, but I decided to accompany him to the hardware store anyways. It's not like I ever go there, so it'd be a nice change of pace. Come to think of it, I didn't actually know where the hardware store was located until Reginald showed me. I guess it's good that I know now. If someone asks me where the hardware store is, I'll know how to answer. The hardware store wasn't too far away from where we are, but it felt like quite the walk since I didn't know how to get there. Come to think of it, I can't remember the last time I've ever actually been in a hardware store. As Reginald held the door open for me, the smell of fertilizer wafted forward. Quite intense. We entered into what looked like the gardening section. Screwy says, "Eat more screws." I agree. And if you go to this particular hardware store, you could get Anticide at 50% off. That is a deal. Well, here we are. Thank you again for coming along. I do appreciate it. Yeah, of course. Thank you for inviting me. It's nice to go somewhere different. Oh, what is it that you needed to get again? Oh, I've got a list in my pocket, actually. Hey, would you like to turn it into a game? Oh, how do you mean? I'll split the list in half. We'll each take a half and look for the items on our own. Then we'll come back here when we're finished. If you can get here before me, I'll reward you. Reward me? I'll get a prize? Something like that. But you'll have to beat me first. Okay, I think I can do that, maybe. Let's do it then. I watched as Reginald ripped his list in two and handed one half over to me. Except he ripped the list in half vertically, so we each had half of a name of each item on the list. No. Fair warning though, I know this store like the back of my hand. Hey, I might still win. I'm sure he'll let her win. After that, Reginald went on his own and left me with my share of the list. Let's see here. Antifreeze. An axe. Tape measure. Rat poison. Well, that's not very nice. I'll mention that to him later. For now, I had to get the things on the list. After all, I now had a challenge to win, but I didn't anticipate how big this store was. It already looked big from the outside, but now that I was walking in it, it was huge. It was a weird feeling walking in here by myself. Why is the ambiance so foreboding now? I've been in hardware stores many a time, and it's never quite this spooky. Would be lovely though, especially considering I don't really come to these places. I don't know what I was really expecting, but it was so empty. I didn't even see any workers around. Despite that, I kept hearing footsteps. Reginald? I called out. No response. What am I doing? This place isn't scary. I'm just gonna get the things he asked me for. What was on that list? Wait, hey, where'd the list go? Did I drop it somewhere? Ah, shoot. That's okay. I'm pretty sure I remember what was on it. I'll just get those things and find my way back to the front. I just have to get... Oh, God. Let's save. We'll go ahead and save over that. We need to get, measuring tape? I think... Oh, no. Let's cheat. Let's look at the history. Antifreeze. I picked up a gallon of antifreeze. Should I get this blue one? Or wait, maybe he wants the green one. Maybe I'll ask him later. An axe. I picked up an axe. This is the right kind. I mean, he's using it for wood, right? So this should be good. What else would you use an axe for? It's heavy. Rat poison. I picked up a bottle of rat poison. She didn't have anything to say about that. And a measuring tape. I grabbed a roll of measuring tape. I always used to play with these as a kid and try to see how long I could stretch it. We could get other stuff, but... I picked up what I thought he'd need and decided to just head back towards the counter. After all, if I took too long, I would lose the race. At least I knew my way back. At the very least, I got back to the meeting spot before Reginald did. We win! I only had to wait for about a minute before he showed up. I see you made it back before me. Well done. Well, do you have everything? Yes, here you are. You did get it all. And just the brands I like, too. You haven't been spying on me, have you? After making sure Reginald had everything he needed, he and I headed up to the front counter to pay for it all. One by one, he put all his stuff onto the conveyor belt, and it slowly began to move across as the cashier began to scan it. I didn't anticipate having this scene with Reginald. I guess this is because I chose him to come check out the diner. Last time I chose Twyla, and I either had a scene with Twyla or Croven, but I definitely did not have this with Reginald. You got quite a bit of stuff, Reginald. I feel bad. Oh, why's that? Well, you don't have a car with you, and now you gotta carry these bags back home. Would you want me to help you? Oh, don't worry your silly little head about that. A little fresh air and exercise does me some good. You're not even going to take the bus? No, I'm quite all right. Reginald, can I, ask you something? Yes, of course. Is everything all right? I noticed you bought... Let's go with rat poison. Confronting about an axe seems a bit on the nose. I think his response would be like, well, I'm just going to chop some wood. Why? The rat poison she seemed to have a real concern about. Yes, it's unfortunate, but my apartment has been having a bit of a rodent problem lately, and of course the landlord won't take care of it, so somebody has to do something. Does that upset you? Well, I don't know. I wish you'd use a more humane way to get rid of them. Right, I see. In that case, I won't buy it anymore. Well, after this time, I suppose. Really? Thanks. It makes me feel better. Hey, do you want anything? Huh? They've got a shelf over there with some candy. I don't mind buying you a chocolate bar if you want one. Oh no, that's alright. You don't have to. Don't treat me like a child. Are you sure? I mean, is that supposed to be my prize for winning the race? No. I'm still thinking about what your prize should be. But since we're here anyways, might as well, right? Consider it as a thank you for spending time with me today. Are you really sure? Of course I am. It's just a candy bar. It's not a big deal. In that case, thank you. Reginald bought me a chocolate bar. It made me very happy. I made sure to thank him for it, even though he insisted it was his thanks to me. After we left the store, Reginald had to head home, saying he ought to drop off his tools and stuff. He said he felt bad not being able to invite me to do more. I told him it was completely okay. He didn't need to do anything. I had a nice time today. Time must really fly. Because when I checked the time afterwards, we were already well into the afternoon. I ended up heading home a little early that day. I didn't have much else to do outside, so I went home. I read some books and made myself dinner, and then put the leftovers in the fridge. And then I washed up, put on pajamas, and well, do I even have to explain myself what I did after that? Who's texting me so late at night? Mary, are you awake? I understand if you aren't, of course. It's a bit late, isn't it? But whenever you read this, do respond. Reginald? Why are you up so late? Oh, hello. Don't worry about that. I just thought of the perfect prize for you. And I had to tell you as soon as I possibly could. Really? What is it? I can't believe I never mentioned it to you before, and after you helped me with my errands earlier, too. You must have been so confused. I make coffins, you see. Whoa. Really? Like, really? That's awesome. I'm glad you think so. Here, I'll send you some pictures of my work. And I was thinking if you liked them, well, I was thinking you could come to my workshop, and I could show you how a coffin is made. At least, the way I do it. I thought it'd be a nice idea, if you're into it. You're serious? I'm allowed to come see? Of course you are. I wouldn't have invited you otherwise. Then, yeah, I'd love to see. I think that'd be really cool. Thank you so much. Of course, I'm often alone, so it'll be nice to have some company. Here, I'll send you the directions momentarily. Reginald gave me the directions to his workshop, and we made plans to meet there in a few days. I always wondered what went into making a coffin, so I was plenty excited to be able to see it for myself. There's only so much you can read online about stuff like this. Being able to experience it firsthand would be something entirely different. Honestly, it was a bit hard to contain how giddy I was. I felt like a kid again, excited for a field trip the next day. Well, back when I still went to school with the kids and all. Anyways, I was excited. And after feeling like I'd been waiting forever, the day finally arrived. Getting off the bus at the closest stop, I walked to the location Reginald told me I should go. He told me it was a bit of a ways off the sidewalk and not too close to many buildings. It had honestly felt like I walked into a whole new city. It definitely wasn't as brick and mortar as back where I'm used to being. There were so many trees, and buildings were so spread. The grass grew in such a way that it didn't feel overgrown, despite reaching a bit above your ankles. I walked down the town's cracked sidewalk, until I came across a pebble path, and following it down, I caught sight of Reginald's workshop. It was so old-fashioned. It was big, but completely made of wood. It almost looked like its own little cottage way out here. But it was charming, and I liked it. I went up to the door and gave it a few gentle knocks. I didn't hear anything at first, but then... Reginald opened the door. What on earth? He looks thrilled. I think lack of coffee? Speaking of which, I need to finish mine, so I'm going to have to leave this episode here, as I'm out of time anyway. I'm very curious to see where this is going. I think I've tried for the Twyla playthrough, but a choice that I have made has forced me into some scenes with Reginald, and I'm missing out on a couple of scenes with Twyla. We will pick this up again and continue the Twyla ? Route through to its completion. Thank you for watching. Comment anything you wish down below. I'll reply to those, and I'll see you tomorrow. Until then, bye for now.